Hi everyone. I was back from vacation this week. I was gone in Sister Bay, Wisconsin, and that is always a fun place for me to be. I think we go there every year. We missed the year of COVID, and I think that's the only time I've not been there over the summer. So anyway, I'm back and I had to make some cards for Card Buffet this week. And so I had lighthouses on my mind. We see Cana Island Lighthouse, which is off of, I think, Bailey's Harbor. And it's always fun to see that. And is it out of the water and out in the water? It's kind of one of those really tiny little points off of the coast that sometimes it's out of the water and it's a little island, or not an island, and sometimes it's underwater and it is an island, and we always like to see what is going on this year. Anyway, so I had lighthouses on my mind, and I thought I would make a little card with this, and I really like, I bought it right away when it came out this year. I always buy, they have lighthouses kind of every once in a while, and I just really like them, and I really liked this one because of the dies, actually, but then I designed a card that didn't use the dies, go figure. But the dies are really great, and I wanted to show them to you before we get started. They have cutouts for the lighthouse themselves. This one is the stamped lighthouse, but as you can see, there's a huge one here that I thought would be great for some scrapbooking of us exploring Cana Island. So it turns out to be, this is a really nice sized lighthouse. It's really big. This would still fit on a card front. Here's the card we're going to do. It would still fit on the card front, but you know, you can use it on other things too. A nice little home decor piece, you know, picture frame with a picture of your family, or a scrapbook page. So I really like the dies. And then you've got some sentiment dies, these little angle pieces, which I think you can use for lots of things too. That might be fun to use. And then the actual stamped images. There's a cloud and the smaller lighthouse, a little ray of light. So anyway, really fun. And then these can be used as a shore. You know, you can have a little shoreline here, or watercolored. You can make it rocky colored. These can be rocks around the lighthouse, or clouds, or you know, whatever. You can use these even just splatter backgrounds. So these are kind of fun as well. So anyway, I liked this one. We're going to make a card with this, and then I thought I wanted to bring in, so I want to show you something that I like to do sometimes. I'm kind of rambling here, I'm really sorry, but I think it's cute and I want to show it to you. I like to sometimes look at, you know, you go through the catalog and you see ideas, right? And sometimes you might think that you have to use that idea with a specific stamp set. Like maybe you really like this card and you think you have to use it with this exact, here's the lighthouse one. Cute, right? So I made this one. And anyway, but sometimes you have to think about using a layout from a card for something totally different. And I want to see if I still have it flagged. Is it this one? No. Oh, it is. Okay, so my inspiration is an old catalog. I like to save some of my older ones. After a while, I may get rid of them, but I keep them for a little while. And I'm inspired by this one for this layout. I thought that was really fun. And here they used the lighthouse image on one, some birds and a sun, but I no longer have this stamp set because I sold it. And when it retired, this is a retired stamp set, but really cute. And I loved how they made this card. So I'm kind of taking the idea of this one and changing it up on mine. And so I just wanted to point that out because I think we can find inspiration everywhere, and maybe you see a card on Pinterest or you see a card in a catalog and you don't have that stamp set, but you can use the idea, you know? And so it's nice to just kind of really look through the catalog. The people who make the designs for the catalog have really great ideas, color combinations, layouts, and things like that. And so use their idea. Now I changed it a little bit, but otherwise it's really similar. So I really have to point out that it's based on this card. And here they used these here as splatter. And the new stamp set has kind of that same idea to it. So this is, like I said, it's an old retired one, so you can't get this one anymore, but you can get this one. So, or even if you buy this stamp set and you are looking up ideas for using this stamp set, Lighthouse Point, on a site such as Pinterest, maybe look up High Tide, which is the name of an older lighthouse, or just lighthouse, and see what you get, because you might find some really fun samples with older retired stamp sets, but you can still use them, those same ideas, on a newer one. So anyway, that's what we're going to do, and let's get started. I am using, now like I said, I made these for Card Buffet, so they're in their little Card Buffet kits. But I used Balmy Blue as my base. And I just cut, it's an 8.5 by 11, cut in half, scored down the middle. So that's the base. And then I cut another piece of Balmy Blue. This is 4 by 5 1/4, and I embossed it with a new embossing folder called Into the Clouds. And it's really a fun, pretty embossing folder, really interesting. And I don't know if you can see it on video, but it has clouds and then lots of lines. So it's like a line art. I can imagine doing this with a pen, and it's really, even the I was going to show this because sometimes I show the insert for the envelope to show you what it looks like, and it doesn't really show you much either. But I assure you, it is a really nice embossing folder with clouds and then lines. And then I thought maybe what I could do, just for fun, is add some detail to make those clouds appear even more. And how I would do that was with some craft white ink. And I did one card this way and one card not this way, so you can decide if this is a step that you want to bother with. But then I used a sponge dauber on a craft white ink pad, and I just kind of went on those clouds and whitened them up a little bit. And maybe you can see some of the detail now better on this embossing folder now that I've added some sponging. You can also try this like maybe on a white cardstock and then sponge the sky area. That could be fun, and you can do some fun techniques there too. Now some of these are going to get covered up by the layers we add, but I'm doing them all just in case because I'm not sure which ones are going to get covered up. Okay, so now you can kind of see, maybe you can see better the clouds I was talking about. All right, so then I cut out some little circles, and I cut these out using the Stylish Shapes dies. These are a really nice die set that has a variety. I don't know why I couldn't get that. A variety of circles that have stitching on them. The nice thing about them is they're stitching on the inside, but also on the outside. And you might think, well, you're not using that. Well, today I'm not, but sometimes it's fun to have a peekaboo window that has stitching around it. So you can have stitching on the inside where you're going to use the inside piece, and then also the negative piece left behind will have stitching also. So that's fun. And there's squares and banners. I really like this. Stylish Shapes. Okay, and so I got 3 sizes. I cut the middle 3, so I omitted the smallest and the largest of the circles. So there we got that. And then I'm just going to go ahead and stamp on there. So for the top one, I wanted just birds kind of flying in the sky. So I actually cut a circle out of a Post-it note. Let's see if I still have it. Found it. Okay. And here I just used another sponge dauber and added some yellow. So I kind of didn't want it right in the middle, so I put it slightly off to the side. It's losing its stickiness because we've used it a million times. So then I used another sponge dauber that had a little bit of yellow on it. So I'm just going to use the sponge dauber to kind of add my sun. And then on for my bird, I wanted a bird in the sun. I grabbed the Waves of Inspiration stamp set. I really wanted to add some more sea things to my card. So I'm actually using, and I don't do this very often, I like to show that you can make cards with just one stamp set, which you totally can. But these work so nicely together. I love the wave crashing, and this little bird works nicely. I also had this on my desk because, like I said, I just got back from Sister Bay, and the sailboat's coming over in front of the sunset. It was really pretty at night, and I just really like all the boats are out on my desk right now, all the waves and boats. So anyway, I'm using the little bird from the Waves of Inspiration stamp set. And I'm just putting a little gray granite bird, or two, up there in the sky, like that. So there's one circle done. Now for the bigger one, that's going to be the lighthouse. So for this one, I'm going to use Balmy Blue and gray granite. Oops, gray granite. Or Smoky Slate, sorry. Smoky Slate. And I only need the top of the lighthouse. And so I wanted it to be a little lighter, so I'm going to stamp off the page to lighten it up the ink a little bit. And then I'm going to put it down. We're going to end up covering this. This is kind of just my placeholder because I'm also using a little bit of this So Saffron to make, again, I'm stamping off. I wanted to have some light coming out of the lighthouse, but I wanted to know where to put it. So I'm doing that, and then, I guess I didn't have to stamp off. I'm a little bit scatterbrained today. Alright. It's coming back from vacation. Kids went back we got back from vacation, and then the kids went straight to school. So I'm doing that again on a little scrap piece. So school started, and it was just one thing after another. Vacation, card buffet, school started, all boom, boom, boom. I'm using Poppy Parade, and I thought I would add some of these little lines. And I thought I might as well add a couple of the little kind of cloud looking pieces to the sky. And all I did was, again, I'm stamping off. So I'm lightening the ink by stamping off the side, and I'm just kind of adding a little bit to the sky area, like that. Maybe I will also do that on the sun one. There. Okay. Keep that out. Now I wanted big waves rolling in here, so I grabbed this big stamp here. But all we're using is this little wave crashing area here. So normally I would get the giant block, but it's heavy and all I want is this. So I'm not worried about my block being the wrong size. Okay. There we go. So I've got that crashing wave. I love that. Okay, now we're going to assemble, so let me cut out my lighthouse. Now there is a die for this, but I'm just doing a quick cut. So sometimes I just feel like I don't need to get out that die. And I don't mind cutting, but there is a die for this one. going to go ahead and put this right on top, but I'm going to pop it up just a little bit. I cut it a little smaller so that it would fit. Now I like to turn it over and just kind of follow the curvature. There we go. Now it's my lighthouse. And then I'm going to go ahead and stick these down. So I'm going to lay them flat. I don't like to have too puffy. I've already got one layer here, and I'm going to put another layer with the sentiments. So I'm going to leave these flat down. And then we've got all kinds of fun little sentiments you can use. Always here for you. I like this one. Your light shines brighter than you know, and I really like it. It's a little large for where I want to put it. So that will be in it. Maybe I'll put I'd Be Lost Without You, and that can go in there. Sending Love and Light. Maybe I'll do So Much Thanks, and then Your Light Shines Brighter Than You Know, and I know who I'm going to send that to because someone helps out all the time. So that's what I'm going to do on this one. Now sometimes when you have a long one, I'm worried I'm going to accidentally twist it. So I like to just lay it down on my grid paper and then pick it up that way. And then I know it's not accidentally bent. And then with my smoky slate, I think I'm going to stamp that one more time. I pressed a little hard there and my S got a little squished. Just tiny bit, but since I already know who I'm sending it to, I want it to be, I mean, not that I would send it. So that's something to be careful of the photopolymers. If you squish, sometimes you can actually squish the stamp and then you get a weird kind of funky squished stamp. So that one, really nice. I'm going to use that one. Okay, and then a little twine. I don't want to cover up my waves, so where is it going to go? Maybe down here, up here. Gotta think about that. Let me lay this down. Okay, there's this one, and then on the inside, let's do There we go. All right, so I like to have two different sentiments at card buffet for people to choose from. So my display will have one way and the box of supplies will have another way, so they can kind of choose. And here I did sponging, and here I did no sponging on those clouds. So I'm not sure what people will decide to do, but there's a couple different versions for card buff. Tend to buy really pretty flowery things. So I really love the Lighthouse Point, and these dies are fantastic. I know I'll get some good use out of those. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.